just me, or does it feel like Black Friday has been happening for the past month? Well, you're not alone, and I thought now that most sales are live, it would be a good opportunity to run through my items that I own that are on sale. And some of these are speculative, as they are every year. Where the sales aren't already live, I use my best judgment based on what the brand did the previous year or any communications they've been putting out to tease their Black Friday sale. So I hope that this is going to be helpful, but it's essentially a review video, and today I will be focusing just on clothing, and then I do also have a separate video that will focus on accessories, so shoes, jewelry, bags, so that'll give you a bit more context on those items. And I will have a companion piece over on my Substack and website where I detail all of these items as well, and where I can I will share the actual discounts that are available for these things. But essentially they're tried and tested items in my wardrobe, or things that have come in, maybe they're a bit more recent, but they've really impressed me. They really hit the mark, and I think that they are a solid option, especially if you've been looking for something like this. I am going to split this video up into category, as I feel like that makes the most sense, so you can skip ahead. I'll have a little menu on screen and timestamps for everything down in the description box, along with links to everything I shared. So we're going to start with knitwear, then we'll do some tops, outerwear, and then we've got dresses and pants and skirts. So starting with the very first outerwear piece, and I really wanted to highlight this one first. It is a cashmere cardigan from Lily Silk. I actually took this with me to New Zealand on my recent trip, and it was my favorite thing that I took with me. Honestly, I think I would have been happy if I'd only taken this sweater and nothing else. It has almost a waterfall style drape around the neckline, so it looks beautiful when it is worn open, just as much as it does when it is worn shut and you've kind of really cinched in the belt. What's cool about it is that the belt is also lined in cashmere, and it has a really thick, robust quality to it, so it isn't flimsy at all. It kind of holds its own, as you should be able to see in the cutaways. I think there's a little bit of elastane blended into the cashmere, 3% if memory serves me, and that just gives it a little bit of extra stretch. But it's just a really, really beautiful cardigan, and I think easily dressed up or dressed down. And Lily Silk have up to 75% off on their website. I think it varies depending on the item, but that to me is a really good deal. Now this one is speculative, but I feel like it would be remiss of me not to mention the sweater either way. For those of you who have been following that journey of me finding the perfect, less expensive alternative for the Rose Ophelia sweater. And this is from a brand called Sisterhood. I feel like between this and the Tucker Nuck sweater I've previously shared, you kind of have your bases covered. It's 100% merino wool, so it does differ slightly in composition to the Ophelia, but it has that same heft, and it has all of the other qualities that I think make it a really good alternative. So you have the double layered collar, the spacing of the ribbing is slightly wider. You also have the sculpted sleeve, though it feels a little bit less exaggerated, so definitely more commercial, more wearable. And then you also have the center seam down the back. The length of it is pretty much on par with the Ophelia as well, because I have done side by sides to compare. And I just think it is such a beautiful quality sweater. It's a female founded business, so always great to support other women in business, and it's just a really stunning knit. I don't think you can go wrong. So I'm taking a wild guess that they'll be doing Black Friday discounts, but even if not, I don't think you could go wrong with this one full price, which was one of the reasons I really wanted to mention it. And kind of just on that theme of dupes for the Rose Ophelia sweater, I wanted to mention the cotton oversized knit from the Gap. Now what's interesting about the Gap is I feel like they always have a sale on. At least when I bought this, it was on special. Maybe it was 50% off, and I think for Black Friday they go up to 60% off. I don't know if that is some sort of psychological tactic in order to get us to spend money because we think we're getting a deal, and so the 60% off is really just 10% off. I don't know, tell me what you think, but it is a really, really nice sweater. I don't think that this is a dupe for the Ophelia. I think it's just a dupe for the COS oversized sweater. I did share that hot take, and I don't know whether you would agree, but it's just a slouchy oversized knit. It's really affordable. It's under $75 US at full price. So, I mean, if you're looking for something that you can wear as a tunic, really, really good. And I like their collaborations too. I managed to snag a pair of the Doan collaboration trousers and they're really, really nice and 100% cotton. The other thing I wanted to mention is that they do have different lengths for the style. So they offer petite, regular and tall. So you kind of get that same fit regardless of your height, which is really nice. I'm wearing the regular medium size for anyone curious. Now I did want to highlight Takanuk because I have some really beautiful pieces from them, and this V-neck knit is one that's really stood out to me. It's 100% cashmere and it does have this really nice light wispy quality to it, and then you do have the doubled over collar at the neck, which to me is such a luxurious detail as it does cost more to produce. It is ever so slightly sheer, so you can see the outline of the hanger underneath. Now, I don't believe they've got a sale live at the time that I am filming this, but I feel like last year and the year before they did 20 to 30% off almost everything. So I feel like it's kind of a certainty that they'll be doing something this year. If you get lucky and the knit that I mentioned, which is like the sisterhood one, is available, then that would be a steal to get that 20 to 30% off. Though if you haven't bought from there before, they do have a first time buyers discount as well. But just a really nice, super soft, really luxurious sweater, and it's a really nice classic too. Because it is a little bit thinner, it makes it very, very easy to tuck into jeans and pants. Another V-neck knit, and I felt like I had to share this one because I got quite a lot of questions about where this was from over on Instagram. So this is from 525 America, and you will have seen me highlight it recently in a partnership video that I've done with them. I've only worn this once. I've only had an opportunity to wear it once, but it feels incredibly luxurious. So it's a blend of wool and cashmere, but it feels like cashmere to the touch, but it has a little bit more heft to it. It is pretty easy to tuck in, though it is certainly thicker than the Takanuk version. Now, 525 America have up to 70% off, and I do have a code Jamie10, which stacks on top of their Black Friday discount, so you can save even more. So a really good time to be buying if you've been thinking about it. I love the wide sleeves on this. I just think that they have this drama to them while also being elegant at the same time. Maybe that kind of leans into the really pretty kind of apricot beige nude color of the knit. I did go with my usual size small, and it's very, very slouchy. So I would stick with their recommendations on their website. I found that most of the knits I have from them do have a little bit more of a relaxed feel. I mean, I'm really excited to be able to wear this a lot more in 2026. Now, again, this is from a brand that I have partnered with, which was a new to me brand, and I've been absolutely blown away with everything that I've tried from them. It's called Self Her, and I was very selective when I was choosing, as I wanted everything to be made from natural fibers. As you know, this is something I prioritize. It is not a non-negotiable, but I want most of my clothing to be non-synthetic. So this is 100% cashmere, and it's the most divine shade of blue. It just really pops, and I think it really suits me. It really suits my coloring. It's more of a fitted knit, so a great base layer, something you could wear instead of those cos and arquette knits I bang on about all the time. I would say that it's a little bit more on the looser fit, so it is slim but not tight. So if you wanted it to be tight, size down. I have mine in the size small, and they have up to, I think it might be up to 30% off. It is a tiered discount based on how many items that you buy. Maybe it's up to 25% off, but I will have all of those details in the description box. Really, really lovely though, and it's super fluffy. I would say fluffier than the Takanuk one, and that's definitely a higher price point. So a great basic. And then another one you'll have seen me talk about recently, or wearing recently, is from Fabric. So they have up to 50% off at the moment for their pre-Black Friday warm-up, which tells me that they're probably going to have even better discounts. I do have a stackable code as well, which will save you even more. I think 2Jamie15 will get you an additional 15% off. So this is 100% merino wool. It isn't fully opaque, but with a flesh tone bra underneath, you can't see anything. What's cool about this top is that it has this paneled detail here, which gives it this really beautiful drape across the chest. It just feels so elevated, and it has the ruching as well at the ends of the sleeves and around the waist. Really pretty, and it comes in some stunning colors as well. There is this really lovely kind of burgundy color, which is ever so slightly desaturated. I just think great if you want an elevated basic that doesn't feel boring. Now, Jenny Kane have 25% off, and I am wondering whether they're going to do an even deeper discount for Cyber Monday, because when I bought my cocoon crew neck from them, it was 30% off, but I don't know, maybe they're doing a different strategy this year, but they have been on sale a lot recently, which makes me feel like maybe you could buy anytime. You don't necessarily need to buy now. I think that their cashmere oversized boyfriend cocoon sweater cardigan is probably one of their top items though, and I have to caveat this by saying that I do think even though Jenny Kane sweaters are absolutely beautiful, I feel like some of their other best items aren't necessarily their knits. You can get more affordable versions or more affordable options which are and feel just as luxurious. So I did want to mention that. The Quince version of this is a really good alternative for those of you in the US or who are game to do mail forwarding. Most people really aren't going to notice the difference even on the hand. This just feels ever so slightly plusher. It does pill up, so you will need some sort of a wool comb or a sweater rake, but I recommend that for any of your knitwear. Moving on to a couple of tops, and this one here again is wool, but it doesn't really look like it. 100% wool from Goelia. This was a recent addition and I've worn it a couple of times. I have another one which is from years ago that has a slash detail design, but I just think this is even more interesting to me because of the bubbled ribbed texture. It looks like it could be sheer, but it really isn't when you've got it on the body. Goelia have up to 50% off when I was looking on their website. So a really good deal for Black Friday, and they do outerwear really, really well. And one of the coats I want to highlight is from there actually. Then COS, their sale isn't live now, but I have to mention this t-shirt because this is one of my favorite things in my wardrobe from COS. Of course it's a t-shirt, but they do basics so well. The merino knits, yes, tick. Go buy one of those if you don't have one. But this oversized cotton tee is phenomenal. It washes and comes out just like when I bought it. I mean, I really have no words other than to say, if you are someone who especially has a shorter torso, this is going to be a great t-shirt for you. It's a little bit cropped on me, but I don't mind that too much because I do tend to wear higher waisted items. It's just really quite thick and sturdy and it's comfortable to wear. The grey is a really nice grey because it is very neutral. It's not too cool, it's not too warm. I think this is something you should be earmarking if you can. I think it might be sold out in the Northern Hemisphere, but Southern Hemisphere, when I last looked, it was definitely still in stock. Now my coat edit is really more of a jacket edit, I think, because I couldn't bring myself to be trying on any more coats. It's 32 degrees here in Sydney today. The aircon is the only thing keeping me in a sweater. So the coat that I want to mention first, so this is the Goelia one that I was referencing just before. It is a slouchy boyfriend style, very classic kind of pea coat. It's a yak wool blend and it just feels so soft on the hand. It has almost a salt and peppery finish to it, very, very subtle. And then you do have this cuff detail, which you can cinch a little bit if you wish. Again, this was a piece I took with me to New Zealand because it was incredibly cold when I was in Wellington last month, and I was so happy to have this with me. I think probably I could have taken either the lily silk knit or the coat and I would have been fine, but it was just a delight to wear. It goes with everything and it has a really nice length to it too. I went with size medium, though I think the small would have been okay as well. Probably stick with your usual size, especially if you are petite. But I mean, this is something I, again, am so excited to wear next autumn winter. I mean, I would be happy if autumn was starting all over again just so I could wear this all the time. Then I have another piece from Self Who that I wanted to highlight. Their coats are really stunning, by the way. Those are really, really lovely, high quality, luxurious frilling coats. But the one that I just think is so incredibly special is this wool oversized blazer. And I'm sure it's very obvious why I think this is so special. It has embroidered beaded flowers all over the front. And to me, that feels so intricate, so detailed, and definitely unexpected as well. It just makes this so much more interesting. And it reminds me a little bit of a vest that I treated myself to from a brand called Dhruv Kapoor, which I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But that to me was such a special purchase. It's a sleeveless blazer, so to be able to find something that had that same vibe but is more of a long sleeve option for winter, I think is very, very cool. And I did spy that Self Who have a skirt shirt that looks like it has the same embellishment too, and that would be a really beautiful piece for the festive season. You know, it doesn't really read as festive, but I think it would be right at home if you had a work party and you just wanted to pull from your own wardrobe. I think I have this, I got it in a medium, though again, I do think the small would have been okay, but often with brands that are based out of Asia, I will sometimes size up, though always recommend looking at the measurement charts. Okay, I have another fabric piece here, and again, another jacket I'm really excited to wear next year. This is a cotton quilted, basically a barn jacket. I love the contrast lining on the inside. I mean, it's just the most interesting pop, and it does actually have a tie so that you can fasten it and cinch it at the waist, which gives it this kind of caped peplum effect at the back. Really visually interesting. And then you also have the cotton cord collar, which you can flip up and wear more like a funnel neck. So I think that this is just such a cool option if you love more of that field jacket, barn jacket style, but haven't found anything that really floats your boat. To me, this kind of has all of the great benefits of that and then some, and it comes in quite a few different colors as well. I did get my usual size small. All right, so I'm speculating here that Quince is going to be doing a Black Friday sale, as they've done Black Friday sales for the past 2 years, and I remember from last year that the scarf coat was one of those pieces, so I thought I would quickly highlight it here, though if the sales are live, or when they are live, I will be sure to share my favorites from the brand. So this is 100% double face merino wool. It feels really nice and soft. It's quite slouchy and very obviously a dupe for the Totem coat of the same style. I really love the contrast crochet trim, though I think probably for some people it feels a bit overdone at this point, especially even just the scarf coat design. Probably the only thing that will bug some people is that the scarf is not detachable. This doesn't bother me. I think that they've done that to help keep the price down, because if you added buttons on the back, it's more labor, it's going to drive the cost up, and already I think it's very fairly priced at $200 US, but really stunning. Patch pockets on the front, slouchy fit. I wear size small. Petites would like to size down. Quince only ship within the US, but I've done an entire primer on how to shop from US based websites over on my blog, so I'll link that down below in case that's of interest, though Fisher's Fast is a little bit on the pricey side. I might update it to include some of the other ones I recommend. Then a previous Black Friday purchase for me was the Whistles leather jacket. And again, I haven't actually checked, but I bought this, I think it was 25% off or 30% off, and they do a sale every year. This is kind of one of their classic designs. It's a shirt style jacket, a really thick, it's called a bonded leather jacket, but the actual leather is not bonded. It's the seams that are bonded, which means that they've been glued down, but it could just be an additional layer of resilience to ensure that the construction is really solid. This is very relaxed. It's very kind of Scandi cool, and I did really force myself to wear this quite a bit this year. The leather is softening up, but not in a fast way. I feel like it's got so much structure to it, especially in the way that it moves. It feels quite bulky, but the leather itself, really beautiful quality. I want to give you the pros and the cons, right? You need to know the whole story when you're buying something like this, especially something that is this expensive. I really like wearing this worn open. If I want to cuff up my sleeves, it's an absolute no-go with this, because you can't really push the sleeves up. So you have to be happy or dedicated to the cause to wearing the sleeves down the entire time you have this on. But it is so hefty. I mean, it still has that beautiful leather smell. I'm really happy that I did end up buying this in the end, but also that I went with the black rather than the chocolate brown. It feels like a really good choice in my wardrobe. Next we have Rue Sophie, and I don't know for sure that they're doing a Black Friday sale, though my internet sleuthing tells me they did one last year, so I'm making an assumption. But even if they aren't, I do have my own code that I can share. It's Jamie15, and that'll get you 15% off. I recently wore this to an event, and I can't even tell you how many people came up to me and gave me compliments on this jacket. It's called the Anne coat, and it's a beautiful satin, so it's a cotton blend, and it has this lovely sheen to it. It's a really soft, creamy buttercream color, so it adds a lot of depth when you're doing a kind of tonal creamy white outfit. I love the funnel neck design with the snap closure, and to me this is something that can be styled so many ways. It feels like a dress coat. So I shared a reel on Instagram recently where I actually styled this fully buttoned up with one button loose, and then I belted it at the waist, and I just thought that that was such a chic outfit. I wear this in a size small and it is very generously cut, so for petites you would definitely want to be sizing down, but yeah, it just feels like such a luxurious special item. And I, for one, am kind of hoping that they have a really good Black Friday sale, as I would love to buy something else from the brand to introduce more of their pieces into my wardrobe. I'm always looking at their edits and everything is so classic, well done, well cut, and they use a lot of natural fibers as well. Moving on to sets and dresses, and I have this pleated set top and skirt from Goelia, which I wanted to highlight together. I think you can buy these separately, though I got them together as a combination, and kind of makes this really beautiful dress. This to me is a good option if you want something for the festive season and you live in a warmer climate or somewhere where it is, you know, heading towards summer. It is a tensile blend, so it feels really, really comfortable to wear too. It's really kind of light and airy, and it just has so much movement to it. And I think these pieces are beautiful on their own as well. The skirt has an elasticated waistband, which we love for comfort, and it's also got pockets, which if you aren't making a skirt with pockets, what are you doing? I love skirts with pockets, clearly. It is also lined as well. I just think such a lovely combo, very, very elegant, and I would stick with your usual size. I'm wearing size small. Okay, Petal and Pup, again, I'm making a kind of judgment here that they're going to do something for Black Friday. I feel like they usually do, and I really just wanted to do that to highlight one of my favorite dresses from the brand. Every single time I wear this, I have to share it because it's such a good, cheap and cheerful find. It's a really nice, crispy cotton poplin. It doesn't kind of have that silkiness of more expensive cotton poplins, which almost have that sateen to them. To me, just such a good, solid piece. I love the ruching around the neckline. The U-neck is really interesting and it isn't too deep, and it also has pockets on the hips too. The design is really A-line and flared, so almost a little bit cutesy for me, but styled with a longer jacket, I think it's really, really chic. I often just wear this with a little leopard print flat or something like that to bring in a bit of fun, but very comfortable, and it irons really well too. I think sometimes with cotton poplin pieces, it can be a little bit hard to get the creases out, and I've probably got some light ones in here, but it's nothing that I can't manage. And a good tip for that, which I will link my clothing care dictionary down below, is to actually iron your clothes when they're 95% dry, as that's going to always garner the best results. Now, the last sort of dress that I have to share is from Atmos in here, and I got this earlier in the year. I think it was around Father's Day, and I really loved the design. I mean, we're seeing a lot of this here, the scoop neck, very fitted bodice, and then the lovely contrast poplin skirt, a really nice option for the summertime in Australia. The skirt has pockets as well. The Iconic tend to do around 40% off on their own brands, so their own brands include Atmos in here, Daisy, Air Label, Minima Essentials. Lover is actually another one that they now own, and yeah, usually you'll find that sort of the standard discount, though they do offer this throughout the year, so whether you shop now or later, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. But this dress I wanted to mention because I noticed it was back in stock. I sized down to a 6 just because I wanted it very fitted around the waist, and I'm very small chested. I don't have a lot going on, so this is a good size for me. Though I would say if you are bustier or you want a little bit more wiggle room, because it is a bit challenging to get on and off, or to get off should I say, then stick with your usual size, but really comfortable, a good one for those summer days when you want to look a little bit elegant. And I think this would make a really good Christmas Day dress. Of course, highlighting Dish because they have 25% off almost everything, and this is probably one of my favorite sets. Well, actually, I'm going to rephrase it. These trousers from Dish are one of my favorites in my wardrobe. I love the bitter chocolate color. It is so chic, really, really elegant and interesting. And then the rear shirt is one of their classic designs. It's really oversized, and I think you can buy something similar from Kmart. If I can find the shirt, I will link it below, but at a much lower price point, and it's going to look and feel very, very similar. But it is quite a cool set when worn together, though of course wearing the neckline open and rolling up the sleeves, and I think adding a little heel usually is the thing that kind of helps to elevate it, as it's a lot of oversized all paired together. But yes, their sale up to 25% off. Are you buying anything? Let me know. I'm avoiding. I'm really trying to stick to my wish list, which I shared over on Substack, and So far, so good. I'm not doing any kind of browsing outside of the research for discount codes for this video. Now, a piece apart, these pants, actually I really should have just front loaded the video with these because they are one of my favorite things in my wardrobe. These are the Sybil cropped trouser. They are a linen and cotton blend, and I love them so much that I bought them in another color. And they do have these on sale, which I was really surprised before their Black Friday sale started. Their Black Friday sale is 30% off site-wide, so an additional 30% off sale, and then they've given me a discount code that will get you an additional 10% on top of that, which I thought was really, really nice. That code is JamieBF10, so you can stack that with their Black Friday code to save even more. But yeah, these pants are phenomenal, such a fun shape, really, really dramatic. I did size down to a 2. I'm glad I did because the 4, which would be my usual size, would have been too roomy around the waist, and I like things to fit a little bit higher up. They're really nice length, and because of the sizing, it means that I have the option to wear them kind of around my belly button or to cinch with a belt and wear them higher up. They also wash really well too. Definitely one of my kind of favorite wardrobe additions for 2025. I forgot about denim, so we'll just do a voiceover starting with H&M. Now every year they tend to do 50% off for Black Friday, and it usually starts the weekend of Thanksgiving. So this one will be one to keep an eye out for. My top pick are the ultra high rise wide leg jeans. I sized down one, so they were a bit more snatched around the waist. So I'm usually a size 8 and I got them in a size 6. Every year I recommend the Levi's ribcage jeans because they truly are that good. 100% cotton and a nice high rise. So perfect if you have a long torso like I do. They come in a range of different inseams as well. So this is the 29-inch inseam, but there's also a 27 and a 31. I own these in more than one wash, and I'm always reminded just how good they are whenever I wear them. I recommend sticking with your true size, though I have noticed a little bit of a variation in sizing between washes, particularly the white and the black denim. Also from Levi's, I want to recommend the cinch baggy jeans. These are fabulous if you are someone who has a smaller waist and wider hips, and I really like how roomy they are through the thigh as well. Where these differ from the rib cage, aside from the cinch detail, is that they have a zip fly, so they're much flatter on the front, and I think they do look a little bit more flattering for that reason. Now these are usually 30 or 40% off on the Iconic, though they do discount them regularly throughout the year, so if you don't get them now, you'll be able to buy them later at the same price. All right, from fabric, the last one I have to mention from there is the Magali skirt. This is a merino wool skirt. It is lined and it also has pockets, which I'm so delighted by. A really beautiful column style skirt, which I have in the ivory or ecru color as well, though that one mysteriously doesn't have pockets and I always get surprised when I go to wear it. I have it in a size small and I think that's a good size for me. I would prefer if it sat a little bit higher up, but then it wouldn't give me that same length. I mean, this is a really good workwear staple and one that feels reasonably comfortable to wear even on a warm day. Oh, and it does have a slit at the back for movement as well, which is really nice. The final thing I want to share is from W Concept. I bought these ones a couple of years ago now. They're from my favorite Korean brand, Facade Pattern, which I would love my whole wardrobe to be Facade Pattern. Honestly, that and nothing written. I love Korean brands. So they have 20% off with the code Black Friday, and I did end up placing an order late last night, which I'm very excited about. And they have an additional discount or coupon that you can apply to your order on top of that, and I think it's up to an extra $30 off, so not a massive saving on top of that, but you know, every little bit helps, especially if you are making a bigger purchase. So Facade Pattern, these are the round cotton pants. They do the same style in wool. A really good straight leg pant that does have a bit of visual interest in the kind of more sculptural look of the trouser, and they wash really well. I have them in white too. The wool version really washes well too. I would recommend sticking with your usual size. I find that the measurements listed on the W Concept website are very accurate, and if you have ever been hesitant to order from there, just think of it as Korea's version of Farfetch. The items come to you direct from the brand, so Facade Pattern is one sending the items, but I'm just buying it through the facilitator, being W Concept, and they do have points and things, which, you know, if you're accumulating them, buying things from there, you can save more off your purchases. But yeah, so that is the last thing I wanted to share. One of my all-time favorite pants. So A mammoth video. Thank you so much if you got to the end of this. I am planning to share some of my other favorite brands which have sales on in the description box rather than doing an entire blog post. There might just be a handful, maybe 3 to 5 extras on top of this. I hope that this just gave you a little bit more context, especially if you've seen me wearing some of these items and maybe you've been curious and wanted to know more. But if you made it to the end, thank you. Thank you for spending some of your day with me, especially during such a hectic time of year. End of year is always so busy, so full on for everyone. If you are new and this happened to be the first video of mine that you stumbled across, I would love for you to subscribe. I share a lot of brand reviews, kind of like this one, also style advice and how to make the most of your wardrobe. I hope that you are having the most beautiful week. And remember, I always say, you do not have to buy anything from the Black Friday sales. There's always another one around the corner. Just think about it. Boxing Day is only 6 weeks away. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. See you soon. Bye.